Welcome back to Corner Stories. Please enjoy this video and don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. And now let's get on to story 1. Lately my wife has become friends with a guy from work. At first it seemed innocent enough, but I've noticed in the last couple of weeks that she talks about him a lot. She texts him when she's off work. She started staying late at work and stopped texting me on her lunch breaks. Maybe she's not hanging out with him during that time. She says she's truly working, but she's supposed to clock out at 4 but won't get home till 5, maybe 6. She went to a party last weekend that was comprised of her work friends. The guy was there too. I guess he got drunk and high pretty quick because she stopped having a good time and called for me to pick her up. She was anxious all the next day, kept going over how the party went, and was texting him. So anyway, he invited her to go with him to this wedding this weekend. She asked me if she could go and I said sure, because I hadn't talked to her about my feelings yet and I didn't want to let anything on. I didn't want to appear insecure. She ended up spending $550 on an outfit for the wedding. $550 is a shit ton for us. It wiped out the little savings we had. She said she's been wanting a new dress anyway and this was the perfect time to. She made a comment while she was picking out her heels about whether she would be too tall next to him if she wore them. I told her she should be thinking more about wearing them next to me because she's only going to the wedding one time. She sort of looked at me sheepishly when I said that. I know that she loves me, I don't have any doubts about that. I don't think she would cheat on me. I'm mainly wondering if I should bring this all up to her, ask her if she has a crush so that we can talk about it. I really love our marriage and just want to do the right thing. I know that crushes happen, but I always assumed if one of us got a crush we would distance from that person. Maybe he truly is just a friend though. I don't know. I talked to a friend of mine and she said don't bring up my concerns because then my wife will actually start to see the guy as competition and maybe it would actually fuel the feelings she has for him. What do you all think? Should I try to have an open conversation with her or just stay quiet for now? The guy is moving to a different state next Tuesday so he won't be around much longer, but then again they could always stay in touch long distance. Thanks for any help. Edit. I'm planning on telling her she can't go to the wedding. She'll probably freak out. I'll keep you all updated and make a post in the morning. Update. I've taken some time before updating to get my thoughts feelings in order. A couple of days ago I texted her while she was at work and told her that we needed to talk. She tried talking to me on her lunch break but I didn't answer her texts. She wanted me to go ahead and explain what was going on but I knew talking via text just put the power in her court, plus I wouldn't be able to read her body language. When she got home she was already pissed before I said anything. She acted exasperated with me. I told her that I just wanted to talk. I kept myself cool and respectful because if something went south in our talk I didn't want the reason to be me. I asked her about the nature of her relationship with the guy and she again said he was just a friend. I asked her if she had some kind of crush on him, and told her it was okay if she did, we would just have to talk about it, and she still said she didn't. She then said if it was causing this much of an issue she wouldn't go to the wedding. I told her that would be great. I don't think she expected for me to say that. I told her that if she wants to hang out with the guy then I'll need to be there. She was pissed and called me controlling paranoid. But that only made me think more so that something was going on. I'm not sure what to think at this point. She and I are doing okay now, we haven't talked about it again. We've had a date night even since then but I had trouble getting into date night given everything. Right before we were leaving to go to the restaurant I checked her phone and saw that she had deleted a bunch of texts from him. She had forgotten to clear her trash. In the texts she was complaining about me, but other than that there wasn't anything flirtatious. It was still enough to hurt me though, and during date night she asked me a few times what was wrong but I didn't tell her. At this point I'm not sure what all she's texted him. Maybe they're still texting. I'm going to check her phone again soon, but the issue is that she has an iPhone, so when I wanted to see the texts she had deleted I had to recover them. That meant they went back into their text thread, so when she texted him she could see they had been recovered and knew I would have been snooping. I didn't delete them again because there was no time. She walked into the room. She didn't catch me, but I'm sure now she'll be more careful. So I don't know what to think. I don't have proof of any cheating but everything about their relationship was weird off. I've spoken to some friends about it and they all think she was cheating. Everyone on here said she was cheating. But I doubt she'll ever tell me the truth. Thankfully we have no children, so splitting up will be easier if it comes to that. We're starting marriage counseling soon so hopefully more will come out in our sessions. I feel like I don't know her right now. Like who I thought she was isn't her at all. She's always gone on about how she can't lie and she's never cheated. The thought of all of those conversations being lies blows my mind. That would make her an insanely good manipulator. But I think that's what she is. Anyway, thanks everyone for the help. I have a lot to think about. Edit. Also, the dress still hasn't even got here, so she wouldn't have been able to wear it anyway. Plus the heels she bought were too big. Can't say it didn't make me happy. Update. I figured I'd let you all know what's going on lately since a lot has come out about the nature of my wife's affair. You all were incredibly supportive and there for me at the beginning when I was first starting to realize what was going on. I wanted this community to tell me that I had nothing to worry about, but you all were honest, unlike the honesty I was living with, and told me that most likely, pretty much 100% likely, my wife was having an affair. Before I begin though, I just want everyone to know that I don't believe much or any of her story. The last post I did was saying that she wasn't going to the wedding. I lied. She did go to the wedding. I said all that to you because I was embarrassed that I let her go. I was also still stubbornly trying to tell myself it wasn't happening. It wasn't the right thing to do. I should have been honest and I'm sorry. Also to note, the dress did not get in on time for her to wear it, so she did go to the wedding. That night I invited a friend over so that hopefully time would pass quicker with someone to distract me. My wife returned home around 11 o'clock. She left the wedding at 9:30 p.m. but claimed they got lost on the way home. We're on Life 360. This has to be a lie because the location of the wedding was a straight shot from our house. The guy had grown up in the area. He'd be an idiot if he couldn't find his way. She told me they smoked weed at the wedding. So maybe it was that, but I've been very high before and still found my way home. It's that easy. So when he parked at our house, it took a long time for her to actually walk in. She sat in his car for around 10 minutes. When she came inside she was in a very good mood. She played with our cat, which she never does. She was extra kind to me. And that night we had great intimacy. She then scheduled another date with him for the following weekend. That weekend I planned to go out of town to visit my sister. So her hanging out with him while I was gone didn't sit right with me. But I didn't say anything. We had been doing so well. She was nicer than usual. So because of that I didn't want to rock the boat. I didn't realize at the time how cheaters can actually treat you better when they're cheating. We scheduled for us to have a date night on Thursday. On Friday we planned to have breakfast together and then I'd leave for my sister's. Friday evening was when she'd see him. I was hoping that our date night would go well so that she felt satisfied with me before I left and so wouldn't do anything. I guess that was me playing the pick-me dance. Our date night was a mess. She talked for 2 hours straight about our relationship, going through the history of it from when we first met. By the end of the 2 hours she was very drunk, making friends with people at the bar. I managed to get her home when the bar closed. She was very drunk. When we got home she wanted to have intimacy, so we did that. I got her off but she fell asleep before finishing me. I felt annoyed and unwanted. I felt like the entire night had been about her. She ended up waking up and asking if I was mad. She apologized and ate ice cream. The next morning she was hungover and we went to breakfast. I asked her if she felt distance between us, and she said no. She was very loving and apologized more. We talked it out and I explained how I've felt a lot of distance between us. She reassured me that everything was okay. I ended up leaving to see my sister. A couple hours later I asked what she's up to. She said she was getting ready to see him. I don't hear from her again until 1:30 a.m., but I was able to see where they went on Life 360. He picked her up at 7 p.m. and they went to the park. Then they sat in a parking lot for an hour. Then they went to a pizza place and then she came home at 11:30 p.m. I went to bed and didn't text her. She texted me good night, etc., and to text her when I woke up. We got into a fight the next day. In it I was able to get her to admit that she was having an emotional affair with the guy. I got angry and didn't take it well. She hung up on me and blocked me. I shouldn't have gotten so angry, but in the moment it was hard to be tactful. Over the weekend we make up to an extent. She unblocked me and we talked. She said she'd stop talking to the guy and that she would unfriend him on all social media. He actually made it easier because he sent her a breakup text. He said they shouldn't be friends anymore and that even though they haven't done anything they should respect me. I didn't find out until later what caused him to do that. I get home from my sister's. My wife is extra affectionate. We talk a lot and decide to do marriage counseling. My wife said she really wanted us to work and I'm her soulmate, etc. She continued to claim they were just friends. She admitted that they flirted a lot and that he had sexted her. She claims that she shut it down but did respond a little bit to when he listed the things he would do to her. She said she never saw photos of him and he never saw ones of her. I have our mutual friend over, Kay, and she was with my wife the night she blocked me. That night they went to the bar and then they went to the guy's apartment around 2 a.m. I didn't notice on Life 360 because I had gone to bed. She said my wife was very forward with him but he wasn't with her. Kay said my wife was very drunk to the point where it was embarrassing. She thinks he got turned off by her and that's why he sent that breakup text using me as the reason why. She says that my wife also confessed to seeing a photo of him naked. That he showed her the photo when they were in person. I decide to confront my wife about it. She tried to lie in the beginning but it came out eventually. It was easier to get it out of her because I already knew. She admitted to them going to see him that night, but she blamed it all on Kay wanting to see him, which is crazy because Kay barely knows him. I asked her if there was anything else she should tell me and she lied again saying no. She eventually admitted to seeing the photo but claimed she didn't want to see it. I said there were probably other things that she wouldn't tell me. She didn't say anything to that. So I can only assume that it was also a physical affair even though she claims it wasn't. Right now I'm not sure what to do. I could divorce her or go on a break for a while or stay and try to figure it out. When I made those vows I meant them, for better or worse. Half of me believes her but deep down I know she's lying. I've come to a standstill and can't decide what to do. I don't want to end my marriage because I made a promise to God and also because she's been my best friend for 8 years. But also I think this will happen again and can I live with that? Anyway, that's where I'm at right now. Thanks for all of the support. Now we have a new update 1 year later, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the community. Looking forward to seeing the discussions in the comments section. Now on to the 1 year update. Almost a year ago, my wife cheated on me with her coworker. As far as I know, it was an emotional affair and nothing physical happened. I decided to stay with her and work through it, against the advice of many people on here. She had never cheated on me before, as far as I know, so divorce didn't feel like the route I personally wanted to go down, although I don't judge anyone who does want to go that route. I've gotten many messages from people wanting an update, so I figured I'd write something up if anyone is interested in how the last 10 months have gone. I'm not sure exactly where I left off before. Things got complicated. I received many messages on here where people were trolling, saying extremely graphic things about what she had probably done was doing. After receiving a fair amount of those I took a break from Reddit. It was just hard to read stuff like that with everything going on. I also was getting a lot of messages from people telling me that I was stupid for not leaving her, was in denial, etc. I started therapy after her affair. She also started therapy. We did not do couples counseling. Not because we didn't want to, but financially we couldn't swing individual counseling along with couples counseling. She owned up to everything she did. She told me nothing physical happened. We read many books on how to survive infidelity. She gave me open access to her phone, FB account, Snapchat, Instagram and everything. She blocked the guy's number and blocked him on all social media. Thankfully he moved away to another state, and they no longer work together. After she broke it off with him he quit his job. He already had plans to move, so him moving to another state wasn't related to her. It makes my life a lot easier now that he doesn't live anywhere close to us. I do think that she's genuinely apologetic. We explored a lot about why it happened. We talked about things that she could do to help me regain trust, etc. Having open access to her phone and bank accounts has helped. While we've done a lot of work, the trust hasn't come back. I don't think I'll ever fully trust her again, but I'm coming to terms with that. Maybe one day I will, but right now I don't see that in the near future. It's hard being in a marriage that lacks trust, but I've done things myself that broke her trust. Right now we're trying to repair both things she's done and things I've done. I've never cheated on her, but I struggle with addiction and have lied to her about my drinking habits, etc. The other thing I've had to come to terms with is that I don't fully believe that nothing physical happened. I'll never know if something physical happened. What my therapist told me to do was to come to terms with never knowing. What I've chosen to do is to come to terms with it having had happened, even if it hadn't. I've been operating as if something physical did happen and coming to terms with that scenario, because maybe it did happen. I won't ever know, so I might as well accept that she both emotionally and physically cheated. I've asked her many times if something physical happened and each time she says no. I've stopped asking because I doubt she'll ever admit to that. She confided in a mutual friend of ours that nothing physical happened. While that friend of ours believes her, I don't fully. She knows I don't believe her, and she accepts that. So far we've been in a good place. Both in therapy. We go on date nights once a week. We've cut out TV in the evenings to focus on one another. We read our relationship books together and discuss. We bought these conversation starter cards for couples. Those have been interesting. Recently we bought some shrooms and did those together. That experience brought us closer, because we discussed things we never had before. Many people believe that a relationship can't survive without trust. In many ways I don't trust her, but I do trust that she loves me. I can tell she does. I know that fully. I know fully that she wants the marriage to work. Those two things make it so I can remain in the relationship. If I didn't trust that she loved me, if I didn't trust that she wanted the marriage to work, then I wouldn't be able to stay. I've also had to contend with the fact that it might happen again. Like they say, once a cheater always a cheater. I think if it happened again, I'd have to leave. That's another thing I've had to accept. But that's a bridge I'll have to cross when if I come to it. Right now, that scenario and how I'll handle it is too difficult to deal with. My reaction to the cheating is part of what surprised me. I remained relatively calm. I suspected it was happening and still didn't yell at her. I didn't erupt in any kind of rage. I tried to stay calm and handle it the best I could, because I knew how I handled it could make or break the marriage, and ultimately I wanted the marriage to work out. I love her and my hunch was that she was going through something that hopefully could be worked out. I'm glad that I handled the situation the way I did, because looking back I know that I couldn't have handled it better. I know that I remained loving throughout it, so I don't have any regrets. Even though I remained loving though, I did have many fantasies where I took a Sharpie to her dresses, etc., so the anger was there and the anger was as real. Another reaction that I had that surprised me, after it all happened, for a while I latched onto her. I needed a lot of reassurance. I wanted to be around her a lot, etc. That happened for the first couple of months after her affair. Then as I began fully processing what had happened, and fully trying to process what I had to accept, I started thinking about the benefits of an open marriage. There were a couple of reasons. 1, I wanted to be with someone else. I felt like since she had, maybe being with someone would make me feel better. And also, in a weird way, I was jealous. I wanted an experience of my own. I wanted to meet someone new. 2, I was having trouble having sex with her. A part of me just didn't want to. I still had a sex drive, but I didn't have one for her. A part of me was blocked when it came to having sex with her. I didn't feel like she wanted me. I felt rejected, betrayed, and ultimately like she didn't find me attractive. I was still attracted to her, but every time I checked her out, etc., I remembered the affair. Things just felt tainted. So I wanted to get that urge out, with someone where there was no attachment, no history, just something fun. And the third reason, I felt like she might cheat anyway eventually, so why not create a situation where no cheating could happen? I felt like if we were in an open relationship, maybe I wouldn't get as hurt again. It was a defense mechanism. I brought up having an open relationship a couple of months ago. She cried. She didn't want one. She asked me if I was having an affair, which I'm not. I just explained to her everything I've said here. She asked if we could just focus on one another and not introduce new people. When it came to the sex problem, she didn't have much of a solution other than to say we should try having more sex. I haven't initiated sex since the affair. Like I said, I'm just blocked. She's done all of the initiating. Sometimes we go a couple of weeks without sex, but since the open relationship conversation we've had it twice a week, which is much more than we've ever done. Another reason I haven't posted in so long is that it's emotionally draining just thinking about it. I'm worn out by it. I'm worn out by all the worry, the stress, the wondering, the anxiety. Even writing up this post right now is more draining than I expected it to be. There's probably a lot I'm leaving out, but right now these are the major points that I wanted to share, and hopefully they'll help someone and give a wrap up to that post I made when she was wanting to go to that wedding with her coworker. So yes, all of you were right. She was having an affair. And thank you to all of you who talked to me during that time. I was really lost, and so many people on here were there for me. I can't thank you enough. I felt very alone, and having read it made me feel less alone, even though there were a shit ton of trolls that eventually wore me out. If anyone has any questions, let me know. If anyone has any advice, let me know that too. If anyone just wants someone to listen to their situation, please feel free to send me a message. I'd like to give back all the support I received. Thanks for reading. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to connect with each other in the comments below. Until next time, be kind, be curious, and I'll catch you in the next video. Corner Stories signing off.